Story 1. Haunted Guest. Nearly a decade ago, in the desolate depths of the Adirondack Mountains, I embarked on a chilling hiking and skiing trip. My lodging for the week was an heirloom cabin, nestled in its own private enclave amid the haunting woods, seemingly perfect for avid skiers and intrepid hikers. Yet the tranquility of my sojourn was shattered by an impending blizzard that loomed ominously on the horizon. Refusing to truncate my stay, and having already paid for the entire week, I resolved to weather the storm. It was on a fateful Friday, or so I vaguely recall, that the nightmare unfolded. As I awoke to the relentless drumming of snow against my window, I heard insistent knocks echoing through the eerie silence of the cabin. With trepidation, I peered out of my bedroom window onto a world blanketed in white, where the heavy snowfall showed no mercy. At my doorstep stood a woman, clad in a parka, her distress etched across her frozen visage. Without much thought, I adorned myself in fresh clothes and flung the door open. The stranger, a woman in her 40s named Meredith, pleaded for shelter from the ferocious storm that held her captive. It felt like the courteous thing to do, so I welcomed her in, urging her to find respite while I prepared a steaming cup of coffee. As she sunk into the couch, she explained her predicament, lost in the blizzard, unable to find her rented heirloom. Awkwardness lingered in the air as I handed her a cup of coffee, which she declined, citing exhaustion. Instead, she sought refuge on the couch, leaving me to grapple with my discomfort. Attempting to regain a semblance of normalcy, I retreated to my room to watch TV. The snow outside intensified, the wind howl penetrating the cabin's walls. Suddenly, another set of knocks echoed through the cabin, sending a shiver down my spine. I cautiously peered out, only to find a man mirroring Meredith's plight. Reluctantly, I opened the door, introducing myself to Mark. With Meredith already inside, it seemed inevitable to turn Mark away. They exchanged introductions and shared a laugh over their shared misfortune. As they settled in, their playful gratitude filled the room. Meredith, now more animated, initiated conversation, and we whiled away the hours discussing random topics. As the day melded into a chilling night, the cabin's warmth waned. The relentless snow showed no sign of relenting. Offering them whatever sustenance the fridge held, I felt the impending need to designate sleeping arrangements. Yet Meredith preemptively requested that they spend the night, and I, perhaps against my better judgment, acquiesced. They lay down on the couches, and I retreated to my room. However, the night took an ominous turn. A loud thump jolted me awake, and as I sat up, the door to my bedroom stood ajar. The deafening wind outside drowned out any other sound. Panic set in as I discovered the front door wide open, and Meredith and Mark were nowhere to be seen. Stepping onto the porch, I saw fresh footprints leading into the snow. There in the desolate night, Meredith stood, holding what seemed to be my travel bag. I shouted for her to return, my words carried away by the merciless wind. Returning to my room to fetch my boots, I noticed my bedroom door was now closed, a detail I distinctly remembered leaving open. Fear gripped me as I hesitated to open the door, especially upon hearing footsteps on the other side. With boots and coat on, I sprinted to the porch, only to find Meredith accompanied by a mysterious man, their eyes fixed on the cabin. The bag no longer mattered. I raced to my Jeep, navigating through 3 feet of snow. There had to be more than just those two in the cabin that night, as someone else had been in my bedroom. My kindness had become my undoing, as I let my guard down with strangers, paying a price I barely escaped. Grateful to be alive, I couldn't shake the chilling feeling that their intentions went beyond mere theft. Something far more sinister lurked in the shadows that night. Story 2. The Dark Secret of a Night. Last summer, in the midst of a vacation, I found myself on a desolate hike. The original plans for the day had crumbled, leaving the hike as a last-minute decision. The location, known more for its flat terrain and dense woods than any breathtaking scenery, seemed an odd choice for exploration. Yet, with nothing better to do, I ventured forth. What struck me as peculiar along the trail were the numerous paths branching off, each one appearing freshly carved, as if a small group had hastily crafted shortcuts. One of these trails, however, beckoned my curiosity. It veered sharply in a direction different from the main path, and the surroundings offered no apparent reason for such a deviation. Despite the density of the woods limiting my view, my curiosity got the better of me, compelling me to follow the mysterious path. A 15-minute walk revealed an unexpected destination, a clearing filled with grass and trees, and at its center, a moss-covered cabin that looked on the brink of collapse. Undeterred, I approached the cabin, noting the missing door and the dim interior, obscured by the thick canopy of trees. As I entered, using my phone as a feeble light source, I discovered two mostly empty rooms, strewn with debris from shattered tables and broken wood. Yet it was the partially open door in the middle of the hallway that caught my attention. Beyond that door lay a staircase leading down into an ominous basement. Although the scene was straight out of a horror movie, the obvious abandonment of the cabin reassured me of my safety. My descent into the basement, however, unleashed an overpowering odor, a stench of rat infestation. Holding my phone toward a small opening in the wall, I discovered a cramped, decaying space with another partially open door. Barely illuminated by my phone, the room revealed a narrow tunnel, poorly constructed and crumbling in parts. Beyond the limited visibility, darkness swallowed everything. Fear began to consume me, and I decided it was time to retreat. Turning to ascend the stairs, my phone's light passed over a corner, and in that moment, the eyes of a figure standing beneath the stairs lit up in the light. Panicking, I sprinted frantically, stumbling over the steps as fear seized me. I bolted out of the cabin and didn't stop until I reached the main trail. It wasn't until I was safely in my car, driving away from the woods, that the terror began to subside. The image of those eyes, glowing just a few feet away in the dark basement, haunted my dreams, leaving me to wonder who or what lurked in that abandoned cabin. Story 3. Haunted Cabin. In the ominous depths of the mountainous, forested border region between Canada and the U.S., I often embark on hikes, occasionally camping overnight with little more than a vague sense of adventure. No concrete plans, just the allure of discovering the unknown. Yet always prepared for emergencies, equipped with various navigation tools, because, in the wilderness, you never truly know what may unfold. One fateful day, during the early summer, I found myself on an unfamiliar trail, a mere speck in the vast forest near my cabin. The trail, barely discernible, raised doubts about its existence. Was it real or a figment of my imagination? About 2 hours into the hike, the muddy path began revealing enigmatic shoe prints, few at a time, diverging from the trail without rhyme or reason. As I pressed on, the trail became more defined, adorned with numerous fresh shoe prints. Intrigued, I followed the path to stumble upon a cabin. Connecting the dots, I assumed it was an off-grid abode. Yet, upon closer inspection, an unsettling feeling gripped me. The prints were recent, but the cabin looked abandoned for years, door ajar, sinking into the earth. Intrigued and uneasy, I entered the cabin's vicinity, cleared of trees. The place had an inexplicable pull, a feeling that someone needed help. The cabin's interior, however, told a different story. A nauseating stench, signs of wild animals, and the relentless encroachment of the forest through the floorboards revealed its true desolation. Attempting to explore further, the odor overwhelmed me. Just as I turned to leave, a chilling sight met my eyes, a figure staring from the forest. They bolted, disappearing into the trees. Panic set in, and I ran, mirroring the path, until I felt safe. Back home, I reported the eerie encounter and the abandoned cabin. Days later, a team investigated, only to find the cabin reduced to ashes, a sinister secret erased. To this day, the mysterious figure and the cabin's eerie nature linger in my thoughts. What was concealed within those charred remains? I shudder at the thought that had I lingered, delved deeper, I might not have escaped the clutches of whatever malevolent force lurked there. The forest keeps its secrets, and I narrowly escaped becoming one of them.